Hello everyone and welcome to Showcase. On tonight's show, we have a video project by Between the Lines co-host Chris Heller.
We also have a Camera One package featuring Eastern State Penitentiary and much more.
So gather your family around, grab some snacks, and enjoy the show, folks. Showcase starts now.
Let's get rolling.
To the studio! Welcome to Showcase, everyone. I'm Kyle Ashenfelder.
And I'm Melissa Kelly, and today I'll be filling in for Frank for this week's episode.
So, what's up with Frank?
I don't know. Something about his glasses, you know, he loves his specs, but here he wears contacts. He's a very professional man.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, he is. He takes his show very seriously. He does a good job, though.
He does a great job. I was watching him. He's really goofy in real life, but on the show, he's pretty professional. A little bit of sarcasm, but he's great, and I'm sure you guys miss him.
Yeah, I do miss him, although it is nice to have a pretty face instead of his ugly mug. I'm just kidding, Frank.
No, Frank's
just kidding.
beautiful.
He
I
is
call him
beautiful.
Frank, by the way, to everybody out there. That's just, he looks like a Frank, not a Frank. I don't know what his parents are thinking when naming him that.
He's a very beautiful man,
He's
I would
beautiful
say.
on the inside and out, and he's a great co-host for you. You guys do very well together.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, all right, everyone. Let's get started with a video project by Chris Heller, who is the co-host of KUTV's Between the Lines. Roll it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Kutztown University's Jazz Ensemble is one of the most professionally operated organizations that the music department has to offer. To learn more about how the band operates, we talked to Jazz Ensemble vocalist Dane Santa.
It's really, really exciting to be the vocalist for this because the band is so good and they have a history for years of being really good. I'm really looking forward to just performing a new style of music. I've been doing a lot of classical and opera, show tunes, that kind of stuff, and jazz, it's not easier. It's difficult on a completely different level, and it's really exciting, especially to play with such a professional band.
I just adore you so hard.
We do songs from, Frank Sinatra and Count Basie, like anybody who's done jazz, any famous names. We try and perform as many of their charts as possible. You have to audition to get in. It's very, very professional. You get into practice and you're expected to know everything.
Dane explains what it's like to study jazz under the direction of Dr. Chose.
Dr. Chose is really good with the jazz band. He is really intelligent and he knows so much about so many songs. He knows exactly how he wants things to sound, and he knows how to get people to play it like he wants. I wanted to start doing jazz because it's really different and it's difficult, and it's so different of a style from what I'm used to that it makes me a better singer in every other type of singing that I would do.
You can catch the next Jazz Ensemble performance on October 26th at 7:30 p.m. in Schaefer Auditorium.
All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video, and now I am here with Chris Heller, who made this video, the co-host of Between the Lines. Thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
And how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, man.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me. I'm glad you guys picked my project for this.
Yeah, it was good, very good.
Thank you.
This package, what inspired you to make it?
My friend Dane Santa, he's part of the KU Jazz Band, and he's a tremendous, tremendous singer. And I knew he had a lot of talent, so I asked him, what do you do with your music? And he said he sung in the jazz band, and found a little bit more information out about the jazz band. And myself, along with Matt Gilmer and Matt Carson, decided to sit down with an interview with him and get more information on the jazz band.
Cool. All right. So was that your overall goal, or was there any other goal you had with this package?
I mean, like I said, my friend Dane, he's a very, very good singer, and I definitely wanted to film him singing and do something with it. So aside from just, getting the word out about the jazz band and what they do, I also wanted to boost my buddy's reputation as a good singer.
Cool. All right. So you got a lot of footage in this package of the jazz band playing and performing. And where was this shot at? A lot of the footage.
It was in the Georgian Room over at Old Main. That's where they do their practicing. And in the segment where the part of the segment where Dane is being interviewed, that's in a small piano room that is soundproof. But we went to one of their practices. The professor who runs the practices, he's also the instructor of the jazz band, was real into it, was happy to have us there. We stayed for the whole practice, got a ton of footage, and put that all together.
Cool, that's good. So what was it like, being able to be there while they're practicing, and shooting everything they do, pretty much?
Well, I play drums. I've been playing drums my whole life. I love music. It was really cool because I've always wanted to just work with people who are involved with music, and that was like one of the first times I've ever videoed anybody I knew filming, and I love jazz too. I grew up on jazz, so it was a cool experience to be there and see what they do, and take some notes while I was there just to learn more about jazz.
Yeah, it's great. It was really well put together. I enjoyed it. And was there anything that you learned from this experience, from making this package? Anything you learned from the jazz band?
Well, first and foremost, I learned the jazz band is awesome. They're a great group of musicians. They're actually, I don't know if they're on tour currently, but they're going to be on tour soon if they're not on now. They're actually going overseas to Europe. I think they're going to Italy, and they're touring out there. So they're doing it big, and that's a great aspect of what I learned through doing it. I mean, I also learned how to work with audio levels more.
Yeah.
That was kind of a pain in the butt. Sorry, Professor Barish, but. It was kind of hard to get the soundtrack of the jazz band and be able to put it all together with the interview, but it came out well, so it worked out.
Yeah, it did. So now you're doing Between the Lines, right?
Correct.
So how's that going for you?
Oh, I love it. We have 2 new hosts this semester, Haley Bianco, Steve Majiri, and they're great. I missed the hosts from last semester, I can't lie, but Steve and Haley are doing a great job, and we've been having a lot of fun so far. I do the weekend updates still. They're on top of their stuff. They know everything they need to know, and we have a good segment all around.
Cool, that's good. Well, thank you once again for coming
Absolutely.
on the show.
Thanks for having me.
It was
I
great
appreciate
having you, and we will be right back after these messages. Welcome back, everybody, and you just saw before the commercial Chris Heller's video project. So what do you think of this project?
I thought it was great. The jazz band, they don't really get a lot of recognition around here at Kutztown. A lot of people know there's a jazz band. They don't know what exactly they do, and this really highlighted them, and it gave them an opportunity to showcase what they have, and I really think it was really well done.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of organizations and activities in the university, in any university, that don't get the credit they deserve. And these guys are really talented, and I liked how they, showcase their abilities. Showcase just like we showcase.
Exactly. I actually met the one that's featured in it, Dane. I met him at Shorty's, the local Kutztown bar.
Oh, nice.
I met him there. He was, he was feeling pretty great there, and very nice guy, very talented, and I'm pretty impressed with that package. And I've heard his voice. He's great.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So.
All right, well, everybody, next we have a video package about Eastern State Penitentiary that was featured on KUTV's Camera One. Roll it.
My name is Lauren Harkins. I am a tour guide here at Eastern State Penitentiary. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the space and the history behind these walls. Eastern State Penitentiary opened in 1829 as the world's first penitentiary, and it was looked at all over the world as this revolutionary space for reform, and this reform through this complete solitary confinement. In the beginning, people were mainly sent here only for horse thievery, other livestock thievery, and other petty crimes, mainly non-violent criminals. But by the end of the 1800s, they were overcrowding so much that they had to start bunking some inmates up together, letting some inmates out for exercise and working. And by the turn of the 20th century, they were really working as a congregate system. And by 1913, the state made it official, no more solitary system. And that is when you have a huge change at Eastern State. You have more than twice the amount of inmates that were ever intended to be in this space. You wind up getting more than twice the amount of cell blocks that were supposed to be in the space as well. Originally, there was only 7 cell blocks. By the end of Eastern State's history, there were 15 cell blocks. So the walls at Eastern State are very psychologically and physically huge. They're actually 30 feet from the ground up, go completely around the 10 acres of space. There's only one opening in the entire prison from the beginning and still to this day. And the walls actually extend 10 feet under as well. So it is a very secure space. Yet there are over 100 escapes here, including over the wall, the 30-foot walls, tunneling under that 10 feet of wall that goes under the ground, and also through the door as well. So among the more famous criminals that have been here at Eastern State, Al Capone ranks probably as the highest. Now, he was only here for 8 months, but when he was here, he had a pretty luxurious time. He was held on what the administration and guards called Park Avenue, because it was not actually in a cell block. He was able to have a nice desk, some paintings, even a record player with waltzes, because he very much loved waltzes. So here at Eastern State, we have a lot of great programming to talk about the history of the space, the history of corrections, and current corrections today. And these include from our main season is from middle of March until the end of November. A good portion of the space is open, many cell blocks, a lot of the outside you can walk through by yourself. We also have these 5-minute tours, a lot of which take you into spaces that aren't normally open to the public, but you saw today in this video, like the operating room or the underground punishment cells. We have a lot of other really great ones as well. We also do hour-long guided tours that you get to go throughout the entire space and really get the whole history of Eastern State from beginning to end. So we are open actually every day throughout the season from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The only exceptions to that rule are Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. Every other day you can come check us out. Rain or sunshine, we are here. We always have a guided tour at 2 p.m. but additional ones are added. So please feel free to check our website for that or any special events throughout the year. It is easternstate.org. You can also give us a call with any questions at 215-236-5111. So thanks for watching this segment about Eastern State Penitentiary. We really hope it inspired you to come check out our space and what we're about, and maybe I'll even be able to give you a tour.
So what do you think about the Eastern State Penitentiary?
I liked this package because I love that kind of scary stuff and the ghost stuff. Like that place
Yeah.
is actually a good attraction for Halloween and
Have
stuff.
you been there before?
No, I haven't. I've always wanted to go there, and the history of that place is just very, very interesting. And this video was good. It told you about the tours that they do and stuff. And I really enjoyed it. It was very informative to me.
Do you know what stood out the most to me, though? The fact that Al Capone, one of the most famous men out there to ever go to a prison or anything, he was there only for 8 months, but still, that's a great feature. A lot of people are going to go there because such a celebrity like him was there. So that stood out a lot to me, but kind of freaked me out a little bit, that whole I mean, the music, everything. It was
Yeah.
very eerie.
Oh, yeah,
The
the
vibe
mu-
was eerie.
Yeah, the music was really good, absolutely. So that was a really cool project.
It was really well
and
done, everything
I'm-
about it.
I'm glad we could have it here on the show. So now I want to go to a Make It Scary project made by tonight's co-host, Melissa Kelly, and Showcase's own Dustin Seiler actually stars in this chilling video where he is trapped in the studio. So you made this video, and here you are. And how'd you feel about it?
I feel great right now. I feel great to be here co-hosting, and I feel great that I made a video with awesome people that I work with, and especially having Dustin Seiler, Dusty Dinkelman.
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely. It's great. And I'm glad that you did this video because it's really good. And now let's roll that video.
Stuff like that, and it's awesome. Yeah.
So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Make a Scary project featuring Showcase's own Dustin Seiler. And I am here with the creator, our co-host for tonight, Melissa Kelly. And once again, thank you for co-hosting and filling in
No
for
problem.
Frank.
I love doing this kind of stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, and she was once, as Chris said earlier, she was once Between the Lines host. So this was her.
I'm
She
a little
did
bit
very good
rusty
job.
though, being on camera. So I mean, I
Yeah.
apologize if anything goes wrong here. a little
it's
bit
all
rusty.
good. Oh, it's good. It'll be fine.
Kyle.
So for this, how'd you come up with your idea for this video?
Well, usually in the past for the Make It Scaries, a lot of people will do things like brushing your teeth, taking out the garbage, and we wanted to do something different, and we wanted to do something that could relate to all KU EM majors. And that's the one thing is the studio. Every single one of us, we're in the studio every single day. So obviously, the most relatable thing for all of us is being in the studio. And what's scarier than being locked in here? There's a lot of creepy things in here.
Absolutely. Very creepy things.
This is an old studio, so we're thinking, how can we make this scary? Getting stuck in here late at night, and Dusty Dinkelman
Yep.
featured in this video.
Dink boy.
Couldn't ask for anybody better.
So what made you pick him? What made you pick Dink?
If you've noticed, the one person you see around the electronic media area
Is
Dinkelman.
Dink.
There's not one other person that's here more than him. So
Absolutely.
when we were thinking about who we can feature, the first person that came to our mind was, why not ask Dinkelman? So he was the
Absolutely.
very first person, and he did a great job. He's
And
a great actor.
His performance, it deserved an Academy Award. I think so.
I couldn't agree more. He really does deserve an award.
Absolutely.
He's a future actor and a
He is.
director and everything else. He does everything.
He is. He absolutely. So there's the lighting was obviously a huge issue for this video. So how did you go about lighting it?
Lighting was a really big issue. It took us a long time because one of our scenes, one of our shots, which everyone saw, was one by one the lights were going out.
Yeah.
And we still wanted to be able to see Dustin on the screen, and that was really hard for us to figure out. So it took a few hours of us trying to prep everything, try to see which way the lighting works, a lot of color correction too. A lot of work went into it, and I worked with Charlie Hanlon, Jason Klein, Mike Verlotta. We all have a lot of different creative abilities and ideas, and all of us worked really well together for this.
Cool. That's great. So some of the shots you chose, the one where he's sitting by the door and then he gets up and it's just pretty much a shot of his feet running. How'd you choose these shots?
We were kind of, we we were kind of figuring out as we went along. We discussed earlier on what we were going to do, what kind of shots we wanted, but as it went along, we were just thinking, all right, what looks best? What can we do best to make it different? We want it to be a little bit different than any other video that's been made for Make It Scary. So we were just kind of messing around with all the shots until we figured out ones that we liked. We tried a bunch of different shots, but we kind of, when we were editing, we figured out the ones that looked best for the video.
Yeah, okay. So, you know, the ending, it was kind of a cliffhanger. Now I want to know, what happened to Dink at the end? What happened to him?
That needs to be left to your imagination. Did he die? Did he, I don't know, we don't know.
Just like Inception, you know, at the end you gotta, you know,
Exactly.
interpret the ending. I like it though.
Maybe the creators of it know what happened, but we just want you guys to be guessing.
Okay.
Maybe one day we'll tell you.
I think Dink got eaten, but
He might have gotten eaten. You never know. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll never know, I guess. You'll just have to interpret it for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for
no problem.
letting me
I love
interview
this.
you. And we will be right back after these messages.
Hey everyone, I'm Haley Bianco.
And I'm Steve Majiri, and we're the new hosts of Between the Lines.
Check us out to find out all you need to know about KU sports.
Be sure to tune in on Wednesdays and Thursdays at 7 and Fridays at noon. And remember, being outside the lines only gets you the scores.
But here at Between the Lines, we get you in the locker room.
Welcome to another edition of Films with Frank. In lieu of Frank's absence this week, my lovely co-host Melissa Kelly will be assisting me with this segment today. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Kyle. Now I have a really small request for this segment.
Okay.
I love the concept of this segment. I just don't like the name. I think, you know, Frank, that's a boring name. I'm sorry, Frank, if you're watching, but we call you Frank around here. So how about we call it Films with Frank? Doesn't that sound nice?
That's actually a nice
I
little
don't know.
spice to
He
add.
doesn't look like a Frank. He's a Frank. At least to me he is.
He is a Frank.
Call it Films with Frank.
What a nice name, Frank. I think we might consider that for
I hope so. I like that.
Later Films with Frank segments.
I
Films
like it.
with Frank. I like it. Well, our first film today that we will be discussing is James Cameron's Titanic. This film, which is based on a true story, stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, who play two young adults from completely different worlds who fall in love, much to the chagrin of one's family, all while aboard a sinking ship. So yeah, this film, I mean, I remember I saw this when it first came out when I was a little child.
We're probably, what, 6 years old? Because
Yeah.
I was 6 years old when it first came out.
Yeah, and it's just, even watching it now, like I can appreciate it more and more and more as I watch it more in my older years, my more mature years, I should say. So.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time, but it's one movie that kind of scared me to death. I've never been on a cruise ship, and I would love to, but Titanic scared me, and I will never go on it. However, if Leonardo DiCaprio will be on a boat, you will find me on there. If there's a real Leo DiCaprio out there, I do have a boyfriend, but I mean.
Okay. Well,
Don't tell
yeah,
about
that works. I just like the story. I mean, it's a nice love story, but also it adds romance with a disaster type story. You know, and it's based on a true story. You know, you have the ship sinking and all that, while these two are falling in love and they're trying to.
Have you ever seen any of the behind the scenes sneak peeks? Because for Christmas, I actually asked, my main Christmas gift that I wanted was Titanic on Blu-ray. They show a lot of behind the scenes scenes, and actually one of the things was they made a very big Titanic, obviously not as big as the actual one, but they had to sync it for the movie. So it was really hard because they had to do a lot of the takes in one take, and that's hard because even filming a show like this, it's really difficult to get in one take. So imagine having a big ship and a lot of money, I'm sure, for it, and it looks like a life-size ship, and I can't even imagine having to do it in one take. The actors were I can't even speak. The actors were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the entire movie was so nicely done. James Cameron was great. The
Absolutely.
soundtrack was beautiful. Everything about
yeah.
it. The acting.
Yeah, James Cameron is very well known for his visual, you know, everything about his visuals, you know, he did with Avatar and all that. He's amazing. He's a great director. He did a good job on this movie. So now we ask, do you want to buy, would you buy, rent, or would you skip this film?
All right, well, this is obvious for me. As I said, for Christmas, the main gift I really wanted a MacBook Pro, but mainly over that for Christmas, I wanted Titanic on Blu-ray. I got it, I bought it, and I love it, so I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, okay, I agree with Melissa, actually. I would definitely buy this movie. Very good film by James Cameron. Of course, it won many Academy Awards. Still up there as one of the most winningest of Academy Awards. And now we will go to our next film with Melissa.
The other film that we're going to discuss today is a 1980s classic, Somewhere in Time. Directed by, now this is a very difficult name that I'm going to try to pronounce here, Janos Zwerk. The film depicts a love story of a male author, played by Christopher Reeve, in search of a new story who stumbles upon the portrait of a beautiful actress played by Jane Seymour. Instantly he falls in love. His powerful love drives him back in time, sacrificing his original life to find the love.
That's powerful.
It is powerful.
It's powerful stuff.
It's an old movie, and I'm not really into old movies, but my dad had me watching this movie back when I don't even know how old. And I used to call it the Penny movie. If you watch it, you'll find out. He falls in love with this picture. He goes to a hotel. He sees this picture, and he's searching for a new story for him to write about. And a lot of times, authors need some inspiration.
Absolutely.
He goes to the hotel. He falls in love with this portrait, and he does a lot of research to fall in love and to travel back in time to meet her. And eventually he travels back in time, falls in love, and you have to watch the rest. It is an amazing, incredible movie. A lot of people never heard of it.
It definitely tugs at your heartstrings, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very deep love story and all about going back in time, you know. I love Back to the Future, so going back in time,
See,
you know.
you're a big time travel fan. You would love this movie.
Me too.
You loved it, right?
Me too. I loved it, absolutely. So, are we going to buy, rent, or skip this movie?
Now, I hate buying two movies because I don't really like spending a lot of money, but I have to buy this movie as well. I actually already have it. So, I mean, you have to buy this movie. And I suggest it for anyone out there, anybody who likes classic movies, classic films. This is one you want to get. Time travel movies, it's amazing. I love it.
Absolutely, I agree. Buy this movie. Both movies tonight, buy them because they're awesome, very well done, and they're definitely worth your time, especially for rewatch value. That's it for this week's edition of Films with Frank, and we will be right back after these messages.
Be sure to tune in Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. to catch co-hosts Liz Reeby, Devin Raventoss, and Eddie Rishit as they travel around the Berks County and Lehigh Valley area, exploring some great places to visit. Camera One re-airs Wednesdays at 7:30 and Fridays at 12:30. Don't miss it.
Well, that's all we have for tonight's show. Make sure to check out our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. And special thanks to Melissa Kelly for filling in for Frank tonight. Thank you very much, Melissa.
You should have said Frank, though, Kyle.
Oh, yeah, Frank. She's right.
Well, we hope you all enjoyed this show. Thank you so much for watching, and tune in to next week's show.
And remember, folks, when life is getting you down, just keep rolling.